get started, everybody, and then if anybody else arrives, then we can just welcome them. This first bit's just from myself, just before Nikki starts her little presentation, just to let you all know what's going on with Uttlesford Business, and specifically Startup September and what we've got on offer. So I'll just quickly flick through a few slides before we start the main presentation. Bear with me, because this is our first webinar, and so I'm kind of like learning as we go along, but hopefully this will work. So yeah, Nikki's here from Pedddle. She's going to be doing our speaker kind of section of the webinar, and as I say, I'll just talk through a little bit now about kind of what we've got on offer. So we've got a few more webinars lined up this week and next week. If anybody wants to sign up to those, then please just go to our website and there's links on there for them. Tomorrow we've got Sustainable Startup, all about thinking about your sustainability as you start up a business. We've got Startup Finance on Thursday, talking about all the different finance options that are available. And we've got Instagram strategy for beginners next week, and starting your business working from home. That's all about the logistics of working from home. So that's quite an interesting one. We've also got business coaching available, all fully funded. This gives you 8 hours in total of business coaching, 6 hours online in group sessions, and 2 hours of a one-to-one with a private business coach, private session. There's 3 different peer groups you can apply for. I've just realised my slides are flying through, so I will change that for the next webinar tomorrow, so apologies everyone, but technical hitch. So we've got women in business, that there is one more available, or 2 more available slots I think for that one. We've got I came with an idea and left with a business. That's brand new kind of thought process of your business idea but not actually started your business yet, and then starting to build your business if you've got a business already and you just want to build that business up in the first couple of years. So that's that. Then we've got a business grant that's also available to all startups and early start businesses, so those that have been running for up to 2 years. Again, available information all on our website. Excuse me. We've also got a free download of a startup guide, which we've produced recently, a brand new guide available to all businesses to download. If you feel like you could do with a little bit of guidance, then take a look at that. There's all sorts of information on there. We've also got, talking about markets, we're also collaborating with Saffron Walden Town Council and setting up a new market with them, and this is in October. So if you want any more information about that, either let me know or let Saffron Walden Town Council know. We've got highlight your business on our new website. We've launched our new business website recently with lots of different information on there, and one of the things on there is a business directory that you're more than welcome to join. So again, have a look on our website and pop your details in for that. Networking events, we've got quite a few coming up, but this one's our next one, which is on the 5th of October at Stansted, near Stansted Airport at the Novotel. If you'd like to sign up to that, then please just go to our events page and there's details on our events calendar. If you want to know any more information about what we have going on, the best way is to sign up for our newsletter. So just go on our website again and find the keep me posted section to sign up to our business newsletter. We kind of send them out every couple of weeks. And then this is us, this is our team, myself, Andy and Sarah. If you want any information about signposting really to any business support in setting up your business or kind of running your business, then do let us know. So I'm now going to pass over to the lovely Nikki, who is going to talk us through the presentation for today. So welcome, Nikki. Thank you for joining us today, and I'll pass over to you.
Fabulous. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you for inviting me. So today, for this part of the webinar, I'm going to talk about maximising opportunities and your outcomes at markets. So I don't know, we've not got loads of people in, but if you want to just say whether you've done in the comments, just whether you've done any markets before, it'd be really interesting to find out a little bit more about your experience. And then if you have any questions as we run through, feel free just to pop them in the Q&A section. And then we can just address them and chat about them at the end, but anything from the very basics to sort of more in detail questions. So this is me. You pop it onto the next slide for me, Rachel, thanks. I started this because I was a total market enthusiast. I was a customer and I loved supporting small businesses. I came from a background of education, which I did for many years, but then I just pursued this hobby and it just kept growing and growing. Pedddle basically is a directory of markets and events and stall holders as well. We serve the customers. Ultimately, it's all written customer facing to help customers find markets and reconnect with stall holders. But what I work very closely, in fact, my developer is a stall holder, so it very much comes from us both there. So the next slide, please. I did just notice in the chat that we had one person say lots of markets. So Jess, yeah, does lots of markets, which is great. So the next section, this is pop. I thought I'd break it down. I've not done this before, but I break down how you get the most out of your markets into preparation, opportunities, and persistence. And that should hopefully lead to success. So preparation is from finding markets, your stall prep, understanding your business basically from the ground up, then grabbing every opportunity you can, whether that's at the market or before or after even, and then just persistence. You have to keep going and just keep trying with your what you're working on, because actually, you know, you can't change what's going on in the economy. You can't change certain things around you, so you just have to be persistent and keep trying and keep evolving as well as a business. Okay, what things should you prepare for your market? So the markets themselves, finding the markets that suit you and your products. Not every market is for you, but that's something that you should really look into and start to build up a repertoire of your markets that you prefer. Your followers, social media followers, you know, you need to tell them exactly where you're going to be and make sure they're clear on what markets you're going out to, because actually your followers are the people that obviously like your work. So that's the first thing. Make sure you keep them engaged and moving and come out to markets and see you. Your products, obviously think about what your best sellers are, and then start to think about, are there any bundles, offers, discounts that you can put out there? So particularly for Christmas, I'm thinking of with this part of it. Have we got the slides on timer?
Oh, it's driving me nuts. I can't stop it. And I keep pressing reset and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Sorry, Nikki.
So anyway, so your products, just think about what your best sellers are, what people like out from your work, and then just try and really focus on making them as visible as you can. Right. As visible as you can for your products on your stall, you know, for your customers to see. Your marketing, plan emails to let customers know where you're going to be out at markets. Now, I haven't actually mentioned about email marketing until this point, but I'm going to talk about it a lot as we go through. If you have email marketing set up and running, brilliant. It's one of the best things that you can do, both in preparation, creating as many opportunities as you can, and also in the follow-up at the end. But if you haven't set up an email marketing system and you want to, but you're not sure even where to start, just obviously go find an email marketing platform. And some you have to pay for, some you don't. If you've got a Shopify website, then it comes with it. A lot of the websites you have email marketing platform all sort of tied it in with your website. So I would start with them. You have to create a form to get people to sign up on, and then it's fairly easy from that point. If you're at the very basics and you just want to get people to sign up to your email list, if you just have little snippets of paper with their name and their email address, but not a long list, you cannot leave a long list out for other people to see other people's email addresses, and just ask them to sign up. You can take that bit of paper and you can keep it safe, and then you keep that up until you've got your email platform sorted out. You can't email, and I don't recommend emailing just from your basic emails, you know, just the one that you sort of interact with people on a one-to-one. You need like a platform that does and carries out the email system. So you drop their emails in there, and then you have to get this two-factor authentication to get them signed up. But email marketing is so important because you can tell people where you're going to be, you can sell to them after a market, and you can just give a bit about you as well in your story, because that's really important for a small business. Stall setup. So always practice ways to set up your stall to maximize the results, and think about like props maybe for the Christmas season or even Halloween, autumn season. Saw a beautiful stall not the other week with like lots of gorgeous autumnal kind of props on it, and it really draws you in and brings people over, and it just gives you like a bit of a warm fuzzy feel. And so just think about your stall setup. This can be a total journey as the year goes through, or it could be the same. But I do suggest just really thinking about your stall and how you set it up, and it can change season to season. And then targets. This is something we're talking about at the moment in our community, but setting self-targets, start baseline targets, and maybe have some aspirational targets. It just helps you to be the best stallholder you can be. If you don't have a target, the last 30 minutes for some people can just be like, oh, I'll go and see that stall over there, or I'll go over here and do this. Whereas if you have a target and you know that you're not far, you're a couple of sales away from your aspirational target, it will make you a better salesperson at that time, at that market, and it'll make you get the most out of your market as well. Next slide. Thanks, Rachel. Okay, so why do research? Markets are not for everybody, and your business might not suit being out at markets. Equally, not every market is for your business. So it's weighing this up. You might go out to a market and have a brilliant time at one, go to the next one and it not do so well for you at all, and the reverse. So you just need to make sure you have planned for every opportunity moving forward, and that you just try them out. We often say give it a sort of a rule of three, try 3 times, and if it's not worked then move on. And then if you seem to get continually not successful markets, it could just be the economic climate, it could be very many things, but then you've just got to look is how does my products suit the audience and people that are coming out. Just be aware of fake events. I will talk about that at the end. It's just something that's starting to creep in. So just something to think about. But in terms of when you do your research, is the venue a good venue for your products? Is the location acceptable? I mean, lots of people have got things to think about in terms of accessibility as a stall holder as well. So is the location okay, suitable for you? Check the demographic. Is the people that turn up to this market, are they your customers? And the only way you'll know that is either by doing it, really, or if you can, go and visit it first. I often suggest just go around, have a look around, see if it's your ideal clients. Go and even chat to other stall holders and just say, oh, I'm thinking of doing this event. How are you finding it? What? Some people will be fine and happy to chat to you about the experience they're having. Try and jump on as many organisers' newsletter lists as you can. I've just been chatting to one and she's like, I've not sent her an email for months, but actually it's a good start. Just get on them because you might hear about events that they're doing first. And it just gives you an understanding of how they work as well. Follow people on Facebook and Insta and other platforms. You can obviously look at Pedddle and just use it as a directory to find events, and then you can contact the organisers and then pick sort of what dates suit you. This is the next thing. Somebody recently said to me, I find my Sunday markets are way better than my Saturday markets. And this is again for you to find out what works for you. Next slide, thanks.
Sorry, Nikki. There we go.
So what are the opportunities at markets? Obviously, we know sales is the opportunity. It's an obvious one. Don't pack away too early at the end because people can come over right at the very end and make sales. And ultimately, you want to maximise every opportunity at being at that. You've paid to be there. Your customers are an opportunity at a market. Not everyone will be your ideal client, your ideal customer, but you know, they could be buying as a gift for somebody. So whilst the items might not suit them, it might suit the person they're buying for. So try and get their information. And this comes back to the email list. Get them on to an email list and start to grow that, because the more you grow it now, the more successful and fuller it'll be by Christmas, which is probably one of your biggest selling times. Followers, potential to get people to follow what you do on social media, and that's what you need. But once you've got them on social media, again, get them over to your email, because social media, they are not your audience specifically. They're owned by the platforms themselves, and if they go down, you literally have no access to those people. So as many of those followers that you have on social media, get them onto your email. Feedback. Use every opportunity at a market to understand how people interact with you and your stall. It might be you've set up the best stall set up and you're dead proud of it, but actually it's just not working because something's out of reach, where what people are trying to look for, mostly it's a bit more out of reach. You then know, right, they're wanting this bit that's back here out the way. I'm going to put it nearer to the front. I'll put one high up because it's obviously drawing them in, but I'll put some of them sort of nearer the front so they can access it easily. And then you can be saying, oh, we've got this in different colorways, and people love it when you go, oh, I've got this one that's like never been touched, this one that I've got that different colorway. And it's just a way to get and chat with your customers, but it just means that you're understanding how they interact with you in your store. Markets are a great networking opportunity. It is literally all marketing. Chat with other stall holders, find out what other markets have worked for them, find out like what you can chat about so much with stall holders while you're waiting, from just learning about social media, learning about what's out there that can help you, but also finding out what other markets are on, finding what works, and even an opportunity to collaborate with people. That's such a nice thing to get out of people that you meet at markets. Also try and chat with the organisers and really sort of work with them, because they really appreciate it as well. Content. I love the fact that a market is a perfect content opportunity. So as you can see already, like we'd normally think markets, yes, sales. That's the only reason why I go to a market. But we're already learning more about our customers with feedback. We're gathering followers, we're networking. And one of the other biggies is this content. I always say, like, as best you can, if it's a good market and it's good lighting, get lots of pictures of your stall, get little videos sweeping across your stall, or maybe get somebody to take a video of you just moving some bits around on your stall, setting your stall up, talking to customers, standing by your stall. There's so many pictures and so much content that you can take at a market that you then just put in a folder on your phone. And when it comes to social media posts, or when it comes to just different opportunities, like listing your business on the Uttlesford directory, for instance, you've then got lots of pictures that are good quality. So there are so many opportunities at markets. Next slide. So what should you follow up after a market? Follow up actually can be very time consuming, but we should really take this opportunity, because you've spent money to be out there. You'll have made your sales, but how can you follow up and get more sales as a result of it? So customers, people that you got on your email, then you message them, you drop them. Once you've put somebody onto your email, they should immediately get a bit of a bounce back message saying thank you for joining, or asking them to doubly opt in. But then you can start sending them out, thank you for meeting me out at the market, here's a 10% code to encourage them to get onto your website and things. Social media follows. Sometimes you get people follow you over the weekend. A nice little DM to do would be, oh, thanks for following me, did you see me at the market at wherever it was? Thanks if you did, great, I hope you liked my stall. And maybe even give them a hook to get onto your email list, that you'll give them 15% off if they join your email list. Little things like that. Like, no one will bother about you sending that out. They'll either look at it and go, oh yeah, okay, I'll join your list, or they might not, they might just ignore you, but that's fine. They're still following you, and that's the start. Feedback. Once you've seen how people interact, maybe you need to make changes with your store. Once you saw at that market what was your best seller, maybe that needs to be sort of front and center of the stall next time. And this can change as well from market to market. So you just have to really watch what worked well for you. In fact, on the follow-up and on the preparation, join in, I'm going to talk about our email list now. But if you join our stallholder email list, which you can see at you can see it as a link in our bio on Instagram. We've got a preparation, like a checklist sheet. So you've got all the things that you need to take to a market, but we've also got a market review sheet. So once you join, you get these 2 things free, and it just gives you a good opportunity to sort of write down sort of what went well. And you keep these sheets month on month, year on year even, and you can see what markets were good for you and perhaps what weren't, because also what you remember of a market might have been busy and you might think, oh yeah, that was a really good one, but actually what you took away from it at the end might not have been as good from a quieter one, maybe, that perhaps didn't have such an impact on you. So yeah, feedback is really important, and making a note of how the markets went for you is important too. Follow up on sales, check stock, maybe assess what sold well and think about restocking. Follow up markets are exhausting emotionally and physically, so give yourself time to rest. From going to set up, from just having conversations all day long, it's really hard. So just think about taking some time for you as well. People who do this as an additional income to their day job, just look after yourselves, because it can be really hard. Targets, did you hit them? Have a little review. How did it go? You know, a target's there not to beat you over the back with. It's more just like, how did it go? Did I do the best I could possibly? And in that situation, and maybe you need to give yourself a higher target next time you go because you smashed it. So just review based on your targets. Next slide, thanks. Okay, marketing. Obviously, marketing is the action of promoting your business, selling your products and services. And so how the different ways that you can do that. See the market as itself as a whole marketing opportunity, so you can chat with your customers and gain content and do that. Another way to market your business is using Pedddle. Obviously, I'm just going to give it a little shout out and a few things that you can do. So with Pedddle, it's a directory, so you list your business. You have links to your social media, and you tell people a little bit about you. You can also check in at your markets. And this is our USP compared to any other directory out there. When you check in at a market, you stay on that market page for 6 months after a market. So if customers come back to that page and go, oh, where was it we went again? Who did we see? They'll always remember where they went. They won't always remember who they spoke to. So it's just good to be visible on these market pages so they can find you after. And it could be like 3-4 months later after a market. You can put your pedal board out on your store. We have specific QR codes, and you can tag us in for a post to share as well. So this is just an extra way that you can market your business. The other way, and I've mentioned it already, and Rachel actually mentioned it, is, you know, join directories. This can be like the Uttlesford one, that is a local one to you. This is all really good for SEO, which is search engine optimization, to get your business name onto things that are relevant for you and your business is really useful. Pedddle, if you're a stall holder and you're going out to markets, this is really relevant to you. Or even if you're just a small business, we have people that don't go out to markets, but they just love all the bits that we offer additionally, so they stay with us. But if you join like Uttlesford, because it's local, it'll be relevant to you. And then what Google does is it sees your business name in all these places, and it thinks, yeah, I should be listening to this person. This business is a good business, and it'll move you up the rankings when people search for you. Marketing content, it's not always easy to know like how to grab your followers and where to send them, but basically get as much content as you can out in lots of different places, social and directories and things. And then just keep sharing, just keep staying present. It doesn't have to be overload, but just be there, keep turning up. And then the other thing to know, at a market, some people, I've heard stories where there's been like literally 5 customers come past their stall. And one time this person said, yes, she had 5 people to her stall the whole day. And one of those customers, was a journalist. And the journalist then contacted her about a few days later, maybe a week later, and said, I saw your stall at this market. I'd really like to write a 4-page spread on you in what was at the time a really significant paper, magazine, I think it was. And she was just over the moon. So the other thing, never sort of sit back and go, oh, this is rubbish, and get on your phone. Try and remain positive and perky, because she could have been there, the only one that stood there really bright-eyed and sort of really engaged with the customer. And then that customer turned out to be a journalist, and you just don't know who is stood in front of you. They might not be shopping for themselves. They might be shopping if you're a ceramicist, to fill a restaurant with lots of plates and bowls and whatever, and they really love your product. But if you're being a bit downhearted and you sat down or whatever, then it might have a different impact for that customer. So try and, even though you might have only 5 customers to your stall, try and treat them as you would if it was a really busy day. Be really perky, and you just never know who those customers are and if they want a commission. Yeah, we spoke briefly at the very beginning about sales. So pre-COVID, generally sales was the only measure of a market, and I've just sort of shown you how you can measure a market in many different ways. But here's a few different ways you can think about getting additional sales at markets. So have little pickup pieces. With the current economic climate, people are being much more cautious, and they're not just sort of buying straight away, quite impulsive buying. That kind of has stopped a little bit, or at least slowed. Whereas if you have some smaller pickup pieces, which again is great stocking fillers at this time of year and things, then people can engage with your business just buying a smaller item, and then once they've bought that, they might go away and go, yeah, I really like that, and then they might follow you, and they might just follow up on a bigger purchase with you. So if you can, within your business, have smaller pickup items, that would be just ideal, really. Seconds items, sometimes people love to have a little poke around in your seconds items and things, and it might be things that you think, oh, I can't take that to a market, but put it in a little, like, it depends how you sell and what you sell, but put it in a tray or put it in a box, and have that it's second items. And people don't matter as much as you feel as a maker yourself, because actually the one thing with handmade is it is handmade, it's perfectly imperfect sometimes, and actually people don't mind just going and having a second item from you, and if it clears your shelves, then great, and if it gets it out there, then great, and then once they've bought that, they might come back again for a perfect piece in your eyes. So that's a good thing to have out sometimes. Eyeline is the byline. This is a really cheesy old saying, but having something that's like, you have your stall with good height on it. I'm going to talk about stall in a minute. So if you have your height there, as people come up, that is what they'll see. They'll see what's sort of behind you or the side of you, and that can draw people in. So height is essential on stalls and impactful. I'd also say try and keep your branding at that level as well. It's really easy to put like it on a tablecloth at the bottom or a banner at the bottom, but actually if you have a really nice logo and sign at that level, it's really clear who you are. I keep talking about setting targets, so I think I've kind of done that bit already. So what you can do to gain more customers and sales, try and be a little bit different. You know, you want your customers to remember you. You could have something of interest on your stall or you could have, so sometimes I've seen people have a smaller item that they make. So I've had this before. Hang on, let me just grab this. I've got props. So you could have something like this. I bought this on a stall. Again, this is a little pickup item that I'd bought, and then I've gone on to buy something bigger. But the maker could actually make this 4 or 5, maybe bigger, 10 times the size, and have a really big one that draws people's attention, grabs their attention, and the customer will remember them because it was really fun and bright, and then they'll start looking at the other items. So be different, stand out. Get people onto your email list. And another way of doing this is have like a little quirky idea. You could have one of your bestsellers, and I'm just going to use this, sat there and say this is, and just tell people this is our bestseller, and you could win this if you join up my email list, and it's one of the next 50 people to join my email list will win it. And having 50 people on your email list, which are potential customers, could be worth giving away one item. Again, it depends on what you sell, or like you could do or volunteer to do a commission for somebody if they join your email list, which is quite specific and actually it could be a really good hook. Yeah, I've spoken about the other things. I think having pickup pieces, having something different on your stall that stands out, and then QR codes. Right, QR codes on stalls. I've seen them do lots of different functions. We have one on Pedddle where all of our Pedddle members has a QR code which takes them to their Pedddle page, where they, as soon as they've done it, they can share their email, they can grab an at the market discount that stall holder has set up, or they can just favourite that stall. Now that three things happen there, and it means that the customer will always remember who the stall holder is, but also the stall holder gets the customer's email. However, I've seen two things that I wouldn't necessarily recommend so much, so just be a bit cautious. This is just my opinion, so you can do what you like with this information. But if somebody scans it and takes them to their Instagram, instantly it's Instagram's it's Instagram's gain, not necessarily so much yours, unless you are going to do that follow-up that I said, where you go on and do a DM and say, come and join me on my email list. However, if you just sent them straight through to your email list, then they're straight away your customer. One other thing I've seen people do is send people to their own website, or to Etsy or Folksy or whatever. Again, I did this because somebody said, oh, scan this, so I did, and it took me to the website. I got home, and then I think my kids went on my phone or something, and it was all gone. They just gone over it, and so it was lost. I didn't even know who it was. I couldn't really remember. Searching for a mobile stall is really hard. So just bear that in mind. QR codes are brilliant, but think about where you're sending them. Okay, so your stall, I've got just a few little pictures here. So we've got the Liz Harry one. These are all very bright and pink ones, but just for this purpose, they stand out. Not everybody's stall is going to be full and bright like this. It really depends on your branding. But the first picture, Liz Harry, her business name is really clear. You could not miss that at all. And it really resonated with her customers. It was the bright colours. People knew she was there. And that was really impactful. And actually, as you can see, she didn't even have a table. She went rogue and had a stand, and it just worked for her business. And this is obviously if it's okay with the organisers, and if it's indoor and it's not going to blow over and it's safe, then people don't mind if you're going to be creative, because it makes it a bit interesting. In the middle, we've got use height to make your stall stand out. So I've mentioned that. You can also see on this one, it's Christmassy. So it was this time last year that it got took. They'd got some foliage. I think that is actually live foliage, like draping down over, and it just gave it a really nice vibe. It's very busy, but that's their kind of the way they set up their stall. And the last one, Lauren, make your bestseller really obvious. So she'd sort of again got a really big version of something that she sells in a smaller version, and it brings people over, and then they can start looking at the cards and different things like that. But things to ask yourself, I don't know whether you want to take a photograph of that little list. Is your stall, your business name really clear? Are your bestsellers obvious? Are you capturing customer data? Are you offering bundles, seconds, some lower priced items, stocking fillers potentially? And then just think about height, light and props. So I've mentioned props, I've mentioned height, I have not mentioned lights. Sometimes, particularly from now moving forward through winter, you can even be indoors and the lighting can be terrible. So just bear that in mind and make sure you've got good lighting on your stall. This is something I've kind of covered as we've been going through, but basically get feedback as much as you can. Watch what customers interact with, look at what they get drawn to first, and then do a targeted stall setup. And this could be targeted for a particular market, or it could be just targeted because actually generally this is what they go for first, this is what works here. And so just really observe, make it a learning opportunity for you, and then develop from there. That was a quick one. Right, things to consider. So the economic crisis is quite clearly affecting everyone right now, from costs to setting up, but also for how much people are actually spending. It's it's really imperative that you factor the profit in as well for you, and that it is profitable business, because I know a lot of rises are happening. Stalls fees are going up all the time. So just be aware of that, and just make sure your business is getting the profit, because you are standing at that stall for so long. Fake markets, I just mentioned this earlier, but be aware of scammers. Stall holders are being defrauded by people on social media, usually contacting them like as a DM, or even people, and this is how cheeky they're getting, even on people's posts where they've said, oh, we're full up for stall holders, they've sold out like space. People are actually saying, oh, we've still got spaces on our markets. So they're even being so cheeky to put comments in. The other one that they're doing is some people are actually duplicating a whole account, claiming to be another market organisation, and they're not. Just look out for the names, slight change in spelling mistake or whatever. But if you are not sure and you've been DM'd privately to come and join an event, do your research. Go and see if they have got an event and check around and see, ask people if they've done it before. But if you're still not sure and it's not very clear, ring the venue, because they will quickly tell you if there is a market going on there. So that's just something to remember. But people have been caught out, they've paid the money, and then they're not getting it back, and they haven't got a stall, which is really hard given the current situation at the moment, because it is tough. And then times are changing. So your customers may have changed, but they might be still the same people, just slightly different in what their sort of expenditure has gone up, and so therefore they haven't got as much money just to spend on little bits and bobs. So you've just got to bear that in mind, and you might just need to nurture your audience a little bit more than you used to. You know, you might have just been able to get those sales quite quickly at a market. Now it takes you to follow them up and put them on your email list and talk to them, and a little bit more nurturing might have to occur before a purchase. And then good luck, success. I really want to see stall holders thrive and markets thrive too. Over the next few months, it's going to be tricky, because so far every year for the last few years since COVID, no year has been the same as the one before. So it's really hard to get some kind of routine or understand how sales are going to be. So remain positive, maximize your revenue streams. So not all necessarily going through markets, get into wholesale and things like that. Be confident about your branding and your products. Check those profit margins, and just keep looking after yourself, because actually another thing to note, as we come up to Christmas, lots of stall holders hit burnout quite early on, because you're making lots of things, you're standing out at those markets, it can be cold and it's hard work. So just look after yourself and make sure you're strong and ready to carry on. And I think that might be it. I can't remember. Have I got another?
No, you're right. That's the last one. Thank you so much, Nikki. That was amazing. I've learnt loads. I'm not a stall holder, but I want to be now, because I feel totally inspired. I'm just going to ask if anybody has got any questions for Nikki before we kind of close the session today. If anybody wants to either unmute themselves and talk or put something in the chat, then please feel free. Because I know that, I think Jess has put something. Love the Pedddle directory. Thanks, Jess. We know you do. What she's asked a question, Nikki. What should we do if a market we're attending isn't on Pedddle? Would people still be able to find us?
Yeah, so what you can do is you can just list it anyway, and we then just contact the organisers and just say that we've listed it, but we hide it. So it's not seen on the timeline as such, but it can still be found on your page. So if somebody clicked on it from your page, it still takes them to a listing to tell them about it. Then if the organiser wants to take that page on, then it becomes unhidden, and then it can be found. So it still gives you opportunity to say to your customers, this is still where I'm going to be. So yeah, that's the hidden version's a bit of a new thing.
Cool. Thank you, Nikki. And Jess, anybody else got any questions at all?
It's okay. If people think about things as well on watching this on catch up, then I really don't mind them dropping me a DM on Pedddle. So Pedddle,
Wonderful.
it's at Pedddle with 3Ds as well, by the way. Pedddle 3Ds UK, that always catches a few people out. And yeah, just ask us the question and we'll be happy to help and support.
Thanks, Nikki. Yeah, we have recorded this just so everybody's aware, so we will be sending it out anyway to those that had signed up that haven't been able to make it. I know people like to sign up to these things and then they might get busy over lunchtime, so we will send it out to everybody. And yeah, if nobody else has got any questions, then we will move on to the final slide, which is just to thank everybody for coming today. Just to kind of say, yeah, obviously we're here. Please get in touch with either Nikki or ourselves at Uttlesford District Council if you've got any questions business related. We're here to help, as is Nikki, with any kind of market inquiries that you've got. And yeah, get yourself on Pedddle. It's a great directory. So thank you ever so much, everybody. I'm going to get my technical side better tomorrow. I've learned a lot today. But yeah, thank you all for joining, and we hope you've enjoyed it. We hope you've left inspired. And yeah, thanks, Nikki, and thank you all for joining.
Most welcome. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.